We're the Western Lake Erie Basin Coalition team, focused on a project helping other people working on nutrient reduction better execute their work. So our team includes me, Magdalia Campabasso, and my teammates who bring skills from sustainability, information sciences, computer science, engineering, dentistry, and business. And we brought these skills together to help the University of Michigan Water Center in their efforts on nutrient reduction and collaborations with various local initiatives throughout the Western Lake Erie Basin. So when we say nutrient reduction, we're talking about nutrients that run off mostly from agriculture in this region, thinking about like phosphorus and nitrogen. And in the Western Lake Erie Basin, a lot of this excess nutrient pollution flows into Lake Erie and causes harmful algal blooms, which are both an environmental issue in terms of ecosystem and wildlife, and as well as water quality for human use. And this picture just shows the coastline of a part of Ohio and an image of an algal bloom from 2024. So in the Western Lake Erie Basin, there is an advisory group that's made up of people from a wide array of backgrounds, including business, local government, conservation, agriculture, and more. And these people come together to advise on projects related to water quality and nutrient reduction. And they've identified some significant problems, mostly related to communication, that are hindering the best execution of their work. So a problem has been identified with tracking projects due to staff turnover and changes in organizations, since many of the organizations executing these projects are quite small. There's also a lack of an authoritative source on current projects and their funding statuses and who's responsible for executing them. And since nutrient reduction projects are small and scattered throughout the region and related to like point sources and non-point sources, it's very important that the people doing these projects know what other people in the watershed are also doing. And so we've realized that collaboration is crucial to combat nutrient pollution, but there was lots of room for improvement in terms of communication and sharing data on the various projects.
The previous Dow team developed and piloted an initial survey. So with this survey, they collected the project data from community members and created a dashboard markup for Michigan Western Lake Erie Basin. Um, so through this work, they had found a major issues that there was lack of cohesion and limited information across projects. So people could not easily see how projects fit together or where they were happening. So we chose to create a map-based interactive dashboard and underlying directory featuring current nutrient reduction projects happening in Michigan Western Lake Erie Basin. We chose to create this map-based interactive dashboard because it uses project geographical coordinates to visualize where this work was happening, and instead of relying only on the textual place names. Um, this solution also aimed to improve transparency in communication and support long-term collaboration among the partners. We organized our work into 4 different phases. First, we gathered additional projects and made sure all our fields are consistent. And in our second phase, we built a dashboard prototype and using the project directory, and we presented it at the 2025 Michigan Western Lake Erie Basin Conference and got some valuable feedback from the committee members and advisory board. In our phase 3, using the feedback that we got from the committee members, we rebuilt our system for better long-term sustainability. And finally, we published and shared our dashboard and directory so that basin partners could use them in their planning and reporting.
So this is, yep, I skipped a slide for some reason. So this is what the survey actually looks like. This survey was largely created by the previous team. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to complete, and it collects detailed information about each project that meets a set of criteria. So we specifically wanted projects that are happening in the Western Lake Erie Basin in Michigan that fit into one of these categories on the screen. So it's either physical, social, or planning, and it has a bunch of information about each of these projects submitted by the project partners. We do ask what watershed a project is happening within, and we also collect point data if there's like a particular location involved. This is the dashboard that we built on top of that data. So we can take the responses from the survey and we can put them into this dashboard. It's interactive, it's public on the internet for our project partners to use, or just interested community members. We have 40 projects in this database. We have 57 different partner organizations that are working on those projects. These total $138.6 million in total funding, and there's 13 different funding sources that these projects are drawing from. There's a detail pane on that right edge that shows you information about each project straight from the surveys. On the left, you can pick a particular project, and then at the top, there's a bunch of filtering options for finding projects that meet a particular set of criteria. And here I have a little demo of what that actually looks like in use. So there's a little splash screen when you first visit the page. At the top left, there's this button where you can go to that survey form to add a new project. Beneath that, there's this projects pane where you can search for a project or pick one. And it shows the project you picked on the map and filters down the details for that project. You can also select multiple projects. Then for filters, you can look at, there's an array of filters. You can pick projects that are complete, ongoing, or in the planning stage. And it filters down the number of projects and the funding for those projects based on your selections. So you can also pick based on the focus of a project or the watershed a project is in. And this is really cool because if you pick a watershed, it'll also show you that watershed on the map. And then you can even pick an individual selection from the filter to see detailed information about just that selection. You can also pick based on the land use type that the project focuses on. And then this detail pane has a lot of information that could be useful to someone who's looking to find out more about these projects. So our takeaways were that, one, community feedback was really, really important for tailoring this tool to meet the needs of the Western Lake Erie Basin community. We had 2 feedback sessions where we met with potential users and we asked them what filters they would like to see and what functionality they were looking for to make sure that this would actually be useful to the people we're making it for. We hope that this will improve transparency and connectivity for nutrient pollution reduction projects and make it easier for people who are involved to know what's happening in the community. And then we created a lot of documentation to help U of M Water Center manage this tool into the future. And we want to give a huge thank you to Allison Bressler from the University of Michigan Water Center and to Dow Company Foundation for funding and supporting our work.